Jungkook breaks IFPI record as Golden becomes the highest charting K-pop solo album in history. Has Jungkook just rewritten the global rulebook for K-pop soloists? International music media are calling it a watershed moment after Golden secured the No. 14 position on the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry Global Albums chart, officially becoming the highest charting album by a K-pop soloist in the chart's history. For industry observers, this is not merely a ranking, it is a structural shift. According to IFPI's latest annual report, Golden recorded 2.7 million pure album sales globally, dominating the pure album sales chart and solidifying Jungkook's place at the forefront of the global music economy. The No. 14 placement on the global albums chart surpasses the previous record held by Rosie, which peaked at number 19. That leap is more than numerical. It represents expanding international recognition for Asian solo artists operating at mainstream scale. Music analysts emphasize that IFPI rankings carry unique weight. Unlike regional charts, the global albums chart aggregates performance across physical sales, downloads, and streaming equivalents worldwide. To reach the top 15 requires cross-market penetration spanning North America, Europe, Asia, and beyond. Jungkook achieved that milestone while fulfilling his mandatory military service, a factor that makes the sustained commercial momentum even more striking. When Golden was first released in November 2023, expectations were high. As the debut solo project from BTS's youngest member, anticipation had already reached fever pitch. Yet few predicted the album would continue generating record-level sales years after release. The project's 1-1 track lineup, including globally recognized singles like 7 featuring Latto and Standing Next to You, demonstrated crossover fluency between Western pop structures and K-pop performance precision. Industry commentators note that IFPI's global albums chart is often dominated by established Western acts with extensive solo discographies. For a Korean soloist, particularly one releasing a debut album to secure number 14 underscores a recalibration of global consumption patterns. It signals that language barriers are diminishing in measurable ways within the streaming era. Social media reaction was immediate. Fans celebrated the announcement across X and Instagram, highlighting the 2.7 million pure sales milestone as proof of Golden's longevity. Viral posts described the album as revolutionary and timeless, emphasizing that its commercial peak occurred without continuous promotional cycles. Music business analysts argue that this achievement also reinforces Jungkook's individual brand equity separate from BTS. While the group's collective power remains unparalleled, solo metrics of this magnitude demonstrate independent scalability. That distinction matters in today's industry climate, where solo ventures often determine long-term career diversification. Beyond fandom celebration, global outlets framed the record as a milestone for Asian representation in mainstream charts. Historically, Asian soloists have faced structural limitations in Western-centric ranking systems. Jungkook's No. 14 placement disrupts that precedent, positioning him not merely as a K-pop success story, but as a global pop force measured against all markets. The numbers themselves tell a compelling story. 2.7 million pure album sales in the digital age, where streaming dominates revenue, reflect unusually strong physical demand. This hybrid strength, combining streaming power with tangible album purchases, indicates audience commitment beyond passive listening. As BTS prepares for a full group comeback following the completion of military service, industry insiders speculate that Jungkook's IFPI milestone may elevate anticipation even further. Solo success at this level tends to amplify group momentum, creating a multiplier effect upon reunion. For now, the data stands firm, number 14 on IFPI's global albums chart, 2.7 million pure sales, the highest charting K-pop solo album in history. The question no longer centers on whether Golden made an impact. It is how far that impact will continue to expand. Will the next solo chapter push even higher? Or has Jungkook already set a benchmark that future generations will struggle to surpass? One thing is clear, this milestone is not just a record. It is a redefinition of what an Asian solo artist can achieve on the global stage. What makes this achievement even more compelling is the context in which it occurred. Jungkook did not actively promote Golden throughout 2024 and 2025 due to his military enlistment, Yet the album continued to accumulate sales and streams strong enough to secure a top 15 global ranking from the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry. In an industry driven by constant visibility, that level of sustained performance suggests something rare: organic longevity. Music economists often differentiate between debut impact and catalog endurance. Many albums open strong and gradually taper off as attention shifts. Golden, however, appears to have entered what analysts describe as a stability phase, where streaming consistency and steady physical purchases maintain its chart relevance long after initial promotion cycles end. That durability strengthens its historical standing. There is also a broader market implication. IFPI's methodology aggregates global consumption data, meaning Jungkook's number 14 ranking reflects simultaneous traction across continents. This indicates that his appeal is not confined to a single dominant territory, but distributed across multiple high-volume markets. For industry stakeholders, that diversified demand reduces volatility and enhances long-term brand reliability. Observers further note that solo breakthroughs of this magnitude often shift negotiation power within the global music ecosystem. High IFPI placements elevate artists' leverage in future partnerships, touring contracts, and distribution strategies. While Jungkook has already established himself as a leading figure in pop, this milestone formalizes his standing within the data-driven hierarchy that defines today's industry. Beyond the business metrics, the cultural resonance remains powerful. For many fans, Golden represents more than a commercial product. It symbolizes artistic independence. Its soundscape blends polished pop production with emotional nuance, reinforcing Jungkook's versatility outside group dynamics. The album's success validates that identity on a global scale. Industry insiders are now watching closely to see how this record influences 2026 projections. If a debut solo album can secure number 14 globally, future releases may begin from an even higher baseline. Chart momentum often compounds, especially when prior performance builds anticipation. Meanwhile, discussions about Asian representation continue gaining momentum. Jungkook's IFPI milestone joins a growing list of achievements, signaling that global pop is no longer geographically centralized. Consumption patterns increasingly reward authenticity and cross-cultural resonance rather than linguistic conformity. As anticipation builds for BTS's full group return, one strategic question lingers: how will individual milestones like Golden's IFPI ranking amplify collective momentum? Historically, strong solo metrics often elevate reunion projects by expanding audience overlap. For now, the record stands intact, number 14 globally, 2.7 million pure sales, the highest charting K-pop solo album in IFPI history. Not a temporary headline, but a measurable shift in global chart dynamics. And if this is only the foundation of Jungkook's